Dark Souls has plenty of gods. Gwyn, the sun guy. Gwendolyn, moon guy. Nito, skeleton guy. What about Velka? She's the we don't talk about her god. She's never seen, never directly mentioned in the main story, yet her influence is everywhere. And the more you dig into her story, the more it starts to look like she wasn't just another deity. She was a problem. Kind of problem that makes gods disappear. So what did Velka do? Why is her name scrubbed from the history books? And is she secretly running a divine hit squad against the gods of Anor Londo? Grab your black separation crystals because this one's gonna get wild. Velka is called the goddess of sin, which is an incredibly vague job title. Like what sin? Lying, murder, rolling into NPCs like an idiot until they aggro? Whatever it is, she's keeping receipts. Enter the Book of the Guilty, which literally keeps track of players who commit sins. Velka is basically running the Dark Souls sin database, which means she's always watching. This means one of two things. Either she's just an overzealous record keeper, or she is an actual system of punishment and judgment. If that's the case, who exactly is she judging? Oh, and let's not forget Oswald the Pardoner, Dark Souls' very own hot topic jester, who lets you pay to have your sins forgiven. That means Velka isn't just tracking sin, she's also selling pardons, which either makes her a divine justice dealer or the medieval version of a corrupt parking ticket officer. Okay, here's where things get spicy. Velka is the only deity in Dark Souls who isn't tied to Gwyn's rule. In fact, the places associated with her, like the Painted World, are full of things the gods wanted to erase. That alone is a giant red flag. Then we have occult magic, a specific type of power designed to kill gods. It's literally in the game's description. Occult weapons hunt the gods and their kin. Where do we find the Dark Ember, which lets you make occult weapons? The Painted World, a place loaded with Velka's symbols, crows, and exile. At this point, we gotta ask, was Velka part of a conspiracy to overthrow the gods? Because if so, it worked. By the time Dark Souls begins, Gwyn is barbecued, Gwendolyn is a glorified screensaver, and the other gods have either bailed, died, or gone full monster mode. Was the Age of Fire ending naturally, or was Velka quietly pulling the strings? Oh, and just for fun, Velka's talisman doesn't scale with faith. It scales with intelligence, meaning she's not handing out miracles to the faithful. She's dealing in secrets and forbidden knowledge. That doesn't scream, enemy of the gods! I don't know what does. Now, here's where our theory turns from, huh? That's interesting, to, oh no, she might be the mastermind behind the entire game. We know that Gwyn was terrified of humans inheriting the Dark Soul, so much so that he literally burned himself to keep the Age of Fire going. But what if someone wanted humanity to take over? Someone who was obsessed with judgment, sin, and possibly helping the enemy of the gods? New Londo was drowned to stop the spread of the Abyss. And who do we find there? The Dark Wraiths, who steal humanity from others. That's a lot of god-slaying, abyss-loving energy in one place, and Velka's judgment and magic seem weirdly connected to it. Then there's Dark Souls 3, where the Hollow Pilgrims of Londor, who are all about ushering in the Age of Dark, have crow-like symbols all over them. Coincidence? Or is this Velka's influence still working behind the scenes? So if Velka was erased from history, did she just peace out, or is she hiding in plain sight? Our first theory is that Velka is in the Painted World. The place is full of exiles, crows, and that Dark Ember. Plus, Priscilla's scythe causes bleed damage, just like crow-based enemies in Dark Souls 3. Maybe she isn't just a random dragon girl. Maybe she's the key to Velka's whole story. Second theory, this one's out there, is that Velka is the Furtive Pygmy. Now, the Furtive Pygmy was erased from history for discovering the Dark Soul. Exactly what Velka might have been advocating for. Could Velka be the Pygmy? Did she set the stage for humans to inherit the world? If so, then she didn't just oppose the gods. She played the longest con in Dark Souls history. At the end of the day, we'll probably never get a straight answer because this is Dark Souls, and From Software loves leaving us with more questions than answers. But here's what we do know. Velka's connected to sin, punishment, crows, exiled magic, maybe the downfall of the gods themselves. She might be a forgotten judge, a rogue goddess, or the single biggest mastermind in the series. So what do you think? Was Velka humanity's secret ally? A god-hunting conspirator? Or just a spooky bird lady with trust issues? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. I want to hear what you got. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Dark Souls' endless lore rabbit holes, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because there's a lot more coming. Until next time, keep 'em peeled.